number 3, we go now over in the World Cup, and of course we're taking a look at groups E through to H. Of course, who's going to go through, who's going to go home, we're going to take a little look next. That's right, folks. Bumps Game prediction video. Today we look forward to match number 3, part 2. That's right. That's focusing on groups E through to H, of course, to see who will go through to the last 16. We're going to take a look at all of it in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button. Bang. All things Blackburn Rovers related, predicting games related, World Cup related. We're going to all hear boys under one rooski. Of course, some nations like Brazil and Portugal are there, but will they go through as group winners? We're going to take a look at all of it in a second. A big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. You know who you are. Anyway, let's get into it. Of course, have a look at where we are in the world of course, the World Cup. Then, shall we? Of course, kicking all off with a recap of what went on last time around. Here we go. Of course, Belgium, 2-0 loss to Morocco. Wow, I went the other way with a 2-0 loss, so shame on me for that one, of course. So Morocco getting a little bit closer to the knockout stages. Belgium could be going home here, of course. Meanwhile, the Canadians, unfortunately, 4-1 loss to Croatia. I went with a 1-0 win for Croatia. I did think they'll win. I didn't think they'll win that emphatically. So well done to Croatia. They're on the brink as well. Meanwhile, Japan, they failed against Costa Rica. 1-0 win for Costa Rica. Big win for them. Massive win for them. But an even bigger win for Germany. Of course, I went with a 2-0 win for Japan. I predicted the Germans' downfall here. 1-1 it was. Final score 2-1 I went for Spain. So really, on paper, my predictions are absolutely shite. But of course, hopefully, it doesn't really reflect that in the Super Brew. But anyway, and the back end of the bracket here, or the draw, 3-3 it was between Cameroon and Serbia. I went with a 1-0 win for Serbia. Brazil 1-0 winners over the CIS. I went with a 3-0 win for Brazil, so not too shabby there. 3-2 it was for Ghana over South Korea. I went with a 1-0 win. And of course, 2-0 win for Portugal over Uruguay. I went with a 2-1 win. So take from what you will. Of course, this is the state of play in the groups as it stands. Spain on the brink, of course, got a draw or more will do them okay against Japan. Japan need to win. Realistically, a draw might be enough depending on what goes on with Germany and Costa Rica. And Costa Rica just need to beat Germany. Even a draw technically against Germany could see them squeak ahead of Japan with that -6 goal difference. Meanwhile, in Group F, we've got Croatia and Morocco on 4 points. Morocco take on Canada, of course, and Croatia take on Belgium in a battle of Europe there to see. I think it's going to be either these two going through, or it's going to be these two going through. So I don't think it's going to be these two. I don't think it's going to be a tall order for that to happen. Anyway, over to Group G. Of course, we see Brazil. They're qualified. Who's going to join them? It could be anybody really. But Cameroon have the biggest mountain to climb, so it's likely going to be either the Swiss or Serbia. Of course, we'll hope to keep you up to date with that, of course, when that game comes around. Meanwhile, Group H, Portugal are there as well. Ghana, of course, have to take on bitter opponents Uruguay with that score still to settle way back. Still ringing in the ears from South Africa. Was that 2010? Something like that. Meanwhile, South Korea can squeak in there with a win over Portugal, and of course hoping that Ghana either lose or a draw, of course, depending on the result between Portugal and South Korea. That's, of course, the state of play there. Of course, we also have the Super Brew, guys. What's been going on with that? Well, I'll tell you right here, right now. This is the link if you want to get involved with the Super Brew. It's bubbling on nicely, and as you can see, okay, here we go into the Super Brew right here, right now. We are taking a look back at the third round. Of course, just look at the third round, or second round. It's second round. So Music 1207, 16 points for him. Well done to him. The Beast, 14 points, of course. Maka up there as well with 13. I'm up there with 12.5, not too shabby. Aliar with a 13 as well. 4, Sarbaka with a 12.5. And of course, if you see your name in there, smash your thumbs up. That's the rules around here. See your name, smash the old thumbs up around here. Kicking on forward those, take a little look at, of course, the overall leaderboard. Of course, I'm looking pretty good on here. Right here, Oxlade 17's up there with 32.5. Music 1207's up there with 32. Alex Weather with 31.5. I'm up there with 28. Up 5 spots, bitches. However, Mac is up there with 8. Up spots 8 to number 5. The Beast up 10 spots to number 7. Big movers, of course. Some biggest losers. Greeny down there with 5 spots. Daddy Cool down there with 8. 37 down 16. You got the wooden spoon. So Mo 18 spots. Wow, wow, wow. Absolute shocking stuff. But of course, it is still early days in that part. Of course, we've got match number 3 still to come, and of course, we've got match number 3.2 coming at you right here, right now. So let's get into it, of course, and take a little look at these games, which all kick off around about the Thursday, December the 1st. We're going to start with Croatia up against Belgium. Bit of mini battle of Europe here coming at you now. They played each other 6 times, 2003, 2 wins for Croatia, 3 for Belgium, 1 draw. Croatia, though, coming to this on 82% form for them right now, haven't lost in the last 8. Belgium, though, coming to this on 50% form, 1-3, and lost 3 over the last 6, and been a bit of a disappointment so far, despite with 3 points in the bag. However, they have played each other, of course, 6 times. The biggest win for Croatia, 4-0 win. The biggest win the other way, a 1-0 win. In fact, Croatia scored 8 goals compared to Belgium's 6 over the course of those 6 games. Works out about 1.33 goals a game compared to the 1 goal a game for Belgium. Last time played each other was a 1-0 win for Belgium. That was back in June 2021. Of course, friendly though. Meanwhile, Belgium coming to us on the back of a 1-0 win over Canada, 2-0 loss to Morocco, with Croatia 4-1 win over Canada, 0-0 draw over Morocco. The odds right here right now for the game, 5-2 is your Canada. Sorry. 13-8 is your Croatia, 12-5 is your draw, and 13-8 is your Belgium. Let's take a look at the odds then to qualify, if you want to break it down a little bit, because you can work that out a little bit with a loss from Morocco and etc. Both of these two sides could technically qualify. So we got Belgium 5-4 to qualify, 11-4 to win the group. Croatia 3-1 on to qualify, 11-10. On to win the group, and of course to win the World Cup itself, Belgium are 66-1 with Croatia at 50-1. For me on this one, going to go with a what have I gone with here? 2-1 win for Croatia, 3 points in the bag, and of course through to knockout stages, sending Belgium home. Moving on to Canada up against Morocco. Canada also on Thursday, December the 1st. Played each other just the one time. It was back in 2016. We'll talk about that shortly. Canada though coming to just 1 win and 5 for them, 42% form for them. Up against Morocco, of course, unbeaten in the last 8 games, 83% form for them heading into this. Of course, Morocco did beat Canada 4-0 way back in October 2016. They come into this on the back of a 0-0 draw against Croatia and a 2-0 win over Belgium. They are clean sheet FC. Haven't conceded a goal in at least the last 6 games. Canada, though, coming to us on the 1-0 loss against Belgium, 4-1 loss against Croatia. The odds for the game here, 5-2 for your Canada, 11-10 is your Morocco, 12-5 is your draw. Of course, the odds for Morocco, at least, to get through to the knockout stage, 9-1 on. To qualify, 2-1 to win the group as well. With Canada, they're completely out of it, got nothing on them so far. And Morocco, to win at 125-1. They are, at the moment, one of the dark horses so far to win this World Cup. We're going to go with a 0-0 draw, though. With a bit of damp end to it, but I think it should still be enough for Morocco to go through, depending, of course, with that Croatia result in mind. Meanwhile, Japan taking on Spain, of course, coming out also on Thursday, December the 1st. Now, these two sides lock horns over in Group E on the 1st of December. Never played each other, but Japan, 1 win and 4 for them, 58% form for them right now. Spain just 1 defeat past 6, 75% form for them. Of course, heading into this. Of course, Spain opened up with a 7-0 win over Costa Rica, a draw against Germany. Of course, Japan with a 2-1 win over Germany and a 1-0 loss against Costa Rica. The odds for this game, 8-1 is your Japan, 11-4 on is your Spain, 50-4 is your draw. And of course, if we take a look at the odds to qualify out of this group, that is Group E, we've got to Japan 7-1 to qualify, 7-1 to win the group. Spain 1,001 on to qualify, 16-1 on to win the group as well. So they look red hot favourites. And of course, Japan right now 501 to lift the World Cup, and Spain up third favourites now, 30-2 to lift it at the end. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Spain here, which of course should be enough for them to top the group and of course have a nice easier last 16 round, or will they? Next, of course, we have Costa Rica up against Germany, also on the same day, same kickoff as the Spain game, played at the Al Bayt Stadium. Played to the one time, and that was in 2006. Costa Rica, though, just 1 defeat past 6, 75% form for them right now. Germany, of course, 50% form for them right now, 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. Of course, they played each other one time, 4-2 win. It was at the World Cup back in 2006. Of course, Germany coming out on top with 4-2. Of course, Germany so far 2-1 loss to Japan, bounced back with a draw against Spain. And of course, Costa Rica with a 7-0 loss to Spain and a 1-0 win over Japan so far. The odds for the game, 18-1 is your Costa Rica, 9-1 on is your Germany, 9-1 is the draw. And of course, the situation in the group has Germany 5-1 to qualify, or 5-1 on to qualify, with Costa Rica 8-1 to qualify, and 125-1 to win the group as well. Of course, to lift the World Cup, Costa Rica one of the outsiders, 1250-1. Germany, of course, 7 favourites, 12-1 to go the distance at the moment. Going to go with, of course, a 3-0 win for Germany here. Hopefully bouncing back into the mixer here, and hopefully can go a little bit further than anticipated. Meanwhile, changing groups now, of course, to Group G, and it'll be Cameroon up against the already qualified Brazil. Now, these two sides have played each other 4 times since 1994. 1 win for Cameroon, 3 for Brazil. No draws. Cameroon, though, without a win in the last 6. Brazil haven't lost in the last 17 games and are on a winning streak of 9 games in a row. Their biggest win over Cameroon, 4-1 win. The biggest win the other way. The only win, a 1-0 win, of course. But last time played each other was a 1-0 win for Brazil. It was in a friendly back in November 2018. Cameroon's one and only win was in the Confederations Cup knockout stage way back in June 2003. However, Cameroon yet to win here at the World Cup. 1-0 loss to Swiss and a 3-3 draw against Serbia. They are scoring goals, though. As to Brazil, they've also scored the same amount of goals as Cameroon. 2-0 win over Serbia and a 1-0 win over Brazil, keeping a clean sheet as well. Just 1 goal conceded over the last 5 for Brazil heading into this match. Let's take a look at the odds then. 11-1 is your Cameroon, 4-1 on is your Brazil, and 5-1 is your draw here. Of course, don't forget, we anticipate a bit of a change here for Brazil with personnel-wise, but I still think they should win. Of course, they've already qualified 750-1 to win the group. Red hot favourites to do that. Cameroon 28-1 to qualify. They cannot win the group. And of course, if you want to look at the odds to lift the World Cup, Cameroon are 2,001. With Brazil favourites right now, 5-2 ahead of the likes of Spain and France. Going to go with a 2-0 win for Brazil, even with a rotated 11. Of course, we'll go through as group winners. And joining them, who will join them in the Battle of Europe? It's Serbia up against this Swiss. Of course, same kickoff as this one. Now, these two sides have played each other at a 9-7-4 stadium, played each other one time in the past. We'll talk about that shortly. Serbia, though, just one defeat past 6, 67% form for them right now. The Swiss also 2 defeats past 6, 67% form for them as well. They also played each other way back in June 2018. That was in Russia. That was a 2-1 win for the Swiss. Of course, that was in World Cup Group E. That's pretty much carbon copy of this one. However, Serbia, not really got going, have they, really? Scoring goals in the last game, but losing to Brazil and drawing with Cameroon. The Swiss, though, 1-0 win over Cameroon and a 1-0 loss to Brazil, have them pretty much level pegging in the goal difference stakes. The odds here, 31-20 is your Serbia, 9-5 is your Switzerland, 12-5 is the draw. Winning, you're in, basically. Take a look at the situation in the groups. We've got Serbia 6-4 to qualify, the Swiss 2-1 on to qualify, 80-1 to win the group. Of course, it will need a snookers really for them to oust Brazil, but I think it will be the Swiss. I don't think it'll be the best game in the world. It'll be a tight affair, 1-0 in the end, just 1 goal in it, and it might even come from set piece as well. Into the final group, which is Group H, of course, and we kick it off with Ghana up against Uruguay, the testy one. A lot of stuff behind this, a lot of behind the scenes shit going on here. Anyway, Ghana coming into this, of course, 67% form for them right now, winning 4 of the last 6. Uruguay coming to this on 50% form, 1-2 lost to and drawn to, of course. They have played each other once back in 2010, and of course Uruguay won that one. We'll elaborate on that shortly. In fact, let's talk about it now. July 2010, quarterfinals of the World Cup. Of course, Ghana were on the brink of going through to the semi-finals of the World Cup. Goodness gracious me! But a Suarez handball and a penalty save denied Ghana, of course, who crashed out at penalties, of course, against Uruguay. So they feel hard done by that, and of course hoping to settle the score here. Anyway, Ghana coming to this on the back of a 3-2 loss to Portugal, but a 3-2 win over Korea, scoring 6 goals, conceding 4, not too shabby. In fact, scoring 5 goals, conceding 5. Sorry, my maths is a little shitty these days. Anyway, Uruguay coming to this, haven't scored a goal so far in this World Cup, with what is dubbed as one of the best attacking trios. You got Nunes, Cavani, Suarez, plus others, but no goals so far, which could be their downfall here. 2-0 loss to Uruguay, 0-0 draw against Korea, of course, so far in the World Cup. The odds here, 50-4 is your Ghana, 11-8 on is your Uruguay, 14-5 is the draw. Spicy, very spicy, of course, coming at you though. Uruguay 65 on to qualify. Ghana 5-4, 65 on to qualify. Ghana 5-4 on to qualify. Sorry, 6-5 on is your Uruguay. 5-4 is your Ghana. 66-1 to Ghana to win the bloody group. Whew, that was bloody harder than it should have been. Of course, Uruguay still 90-1, of course, to go the distance and win it. Ghana 350-1 to go the way. So the bookies backing Uruguay. I think the poll out there did backing Uruguay, but for me, I still think Ghana are going to rise up here and cause a bit of a shock, knocking out Uruguay and putting Ghana into the last 16. Of course, that score to settle is going to keep them going. A draw is good enough for Ghana. A draw is not good enough for Uruguay. They need to score there. Where are the goals come from? They're nowhere near here. They could even go out of the World Cup without scoring a goal, which would be a bit of a shambles, of course. And I have Uruguay. They have the makings of a team that could go far if they can get out of the groups. And I think Ghana will raise up their game and be I told party poopers and eliminate one of the former winners at this stage, of course. But we'll have to wait and see to see if that comes out. But meanwhile, the final game of the group stages will be South Korea up against Portugal, who of course could also cause some problems in the group. Portugal are there. They will rotate the squad at the Education City Stadium on the 2nd of December. Of course, Portugal played each other one time, and it was actually a win for Korea, nothing for Portugal. We'll talk about that shortly. Korea, though, South Korea, 50% form for them right now, just 1 defeat past 5, 1-2 lost to and drawn to, of course. Meanwhile, Portugal are winning streak of 3 games in a row, just 1 defeat past 5, 67% form for them heading into this. Of course, they did play each other one time. It was in the World Cup back in 2002. That was in Korea. That was a 1-0 win for South Korea in Group D. Meanwhile, Portugal coming to us on the back of 2 wins. 5 goals scored so far in the World Cup. Not too shabby, of course. Meanwhile, Korea scored a couple of goals against Ghana, but unfortunately on the losing side. Just 1 point for them so far in this tournament. Of course, the odds then. We have 17-4 is your South Korea, 13-8 on is Portugal, 65 is your draw. It looks like it's Portugal's to lose. I do think, again, rotating some squad here. 750-1 on to win the group, with South Korea 8-1 to qualify. And of course, to lift the trophy itself, South Korea coming at you 501, of course, and Portugal 11-1 to win the trophy as well. I'm going to go with, unfortunately, a 2-0 win for Portugal. South Korea will not have the quality. Portugal will rotate, but I think the likes of Ronaldo and Co will still play, and of course be too good, too strong, none the same. Don't forget about the old link here to the prediction league, cut4/WC picks, and hopefully I'll see you there then. Of course, then next time you see me in this sort of regard, it'll be for the knockout stages. Until then, guys, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell. We go again, guys, all the way through to the final. Of course, check out links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon. But until then, see you soon for the next.